Hello everyone and welcome to another live from the workshop. So today I'm going to be making another 3 3/4 inch custom, which is going to strike you as slightly odd, seeing as this is definitely a 5-inch Dalek, as can be seen with this 3 3/4 inch custom here. But that is because this is going to be the Predator Dalek as described in the novel Engines of War. This is the War Doctor novel. Now in this, the Predator Dalek is described as twice the size of a normal Dalek, hence why it is going to be 375 base, because it does have a sort of slightly larger, maybe not quite twice the size, but it certainly does have a larger size to it. So it is described as a normal looking Dalek, but twice the size, in dark red, and then inside it is said to be a chair with screens and dials and things all around it. So what I am planning to do, as you can see, I've already cut these bits off. I am going to hinge these pieces here. Obviously once I need to repaint it all and everything, but these pieces are going to be hinged here, and then I'm also going to do the same for these parts, have them hinged open like that, and then inside I'm going to build a chair. It may not exactly fit a 3 3/4 inch figure, simply because the 3 3/4 inch figures don't bend that well. They're not very easy to pose in a sitting position, so they won't fit exactly, but it will still look the part that it is supposed to look in the novel. So first thing I need to do first actually is to strip it down and basically take these parts out and stick all of these bits in place. Not quite sure how I'm going to engineer this yet, because it does need trimming down slightly to fit, because whilst it does fit in that way, once I start to pull it out it doesn't fit in, so I will have to do some trimming. I might just have to literally see if I can slot it, see if I try and slot it in there it's going to come out. But essentially the first thing is going to be to fix all of these pieces in. Once they're all glued in, I can start with doing the painting. And here is my finished Predator Dalek. Now, first of all, I apologise that you won't have seen all of the construction in this. Unfortunately, I've just downloaded the footage that I've recorded, and some of it's unfortunately become corrupted, and obviously I can't refilm it. So I will try and take you through as detailed explanation of what I've done on this as I can. Now, obviously starting off, it's a new series Dalek, it's one of the earlier ones, and the reason I've gone for an earlier one is because I wanted it to have the sculpt that was slightly larger and bigger, because then it would technically house a 3 3/4 inch figure, but I don't think this actually will, unfortunately, because of just the way that it's put together and everything in there. I know a lot of people would like to see customs of things like, you know, would love to see things like a Clara inside a Dalek. Unfortunately, the simple fact is that it doesn't matter how accurate the sculpt of the Dalek is and how accurate the sculpt of the figure is, they don't fit inside the other. That's a simple fact. If I was gonna do something like that, I would literally have to build a Dalek from scratch to a specific scale to be built around the figure. So, unfortunately, that isn't something that you're going to see, and this isn't a start to you know, having a figure inside a Dalek, because it's just not possible. It's just not something I can do. So, obviously, to give you an idea of scales, as I said, this is a 5-inch figure, but in the book it is described as being twice the size of a normal Dalek. So if we bring in, this is the only 3 3/4 inch Dalek that I really have to hand. But you can see, you know, a sort of size comparison that it actually does work quite well in terms of being double the size. So obviously it is just a standard Dalek that I've repainted red and then with black trim. And then I've cut open the front and taken out all the inside crossbars and things, and cut open the front parts and just hinged them using hot glue. Unfortunately, they don't close. You know, they are fixed in place because it would take a lot of work to have to hinge them, and it would be quite difficult. It would be quite a lot of work to do. The actual chair inside is actually made just from card that I've just put together and painted up black. The dials and things are literally just pieces of card with little bits painted on. You know, this is literally just painted. And then that piece is from a 3 3/4 inch Dalek saucer pilot control panel. The two closing pieces here are from the 3 3/4 inch Dalek patrol ship. Again, I've just added those on just as a bit of extra detail. The spike at the back, there's a bit of glue there as well, the spike at the back is just a piece of plasticard, and for those wondering what the spike is, in the book it's described as having that spike which is intended to go into the soft flesh at the base of the skull to obviously interface the War Doctor with the Dalek, and then it all closes up around him and everything. But I'm really pleased with how it's come out, because it is something, again, it's something a bit different. You know, obviously I've got a couple of open Daleks. I've got the Dalek Khan open, and I've also got the Dalek from Dalek, the Metaltron Dalek, all open. So it's nice to have this as one that's a little bit different, and it looks like something a little bit different inside, and it's all a bit interesting. So I'm very pleased with how it's come out, and it is definitely one that I will keep on display in my collection. But if to anyone who's got one of these larger Daleks spare, I have to say this actually isn't a bad use for it, because yeah, you know, the Dalek is a little bit you know, it is fairly inaccurate in terms of its size and its shape and things like that. But when you're doing a 3 3/4 inch Dalek that opens up, once it's open, you don't really notice, if I'm perfectly honest, how inaccurate the shape is, because it's all opened up. It looks bigger anyway, so it actually does work very well. So if anybody does have any of these spare, this is a great use for them. I would highly recommend it. But that is my Predator Dalek. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, favourite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.